Hello, welcome back. Today we are talking about the price of new construction home upgrades again. So this would be part two. I did have a few of you ask me for a little bit more information about particular upgrades. I know I didn't cover a ton in the first video, so I'll go ahead and talk about more today. I think I already mentioned this in the first video, but I'll say it again just in case some of you are wondering. My husband and I are having our home built currently, and it's actually scheduled to be done for the end of April. So we are super excited. We're just in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, just for reference. So of course the pricing is going to be different state to state. But hopefully this will give you an idea of a price range, because for me, I couldn't really find anything online like at all. So that's why I wanted to make this video without giving too specific of information, but still giving you something to work with. So stay tuned. I hope this helps. All right, so let's see here. I'm just going over my list here. I mentioned in the last video that the builder did give us a printout of all the upgrades and what all the costs were, all the options that we have for our house. So there's 3 pages of information here. Let's say that if you're interested in having floor outlets in your living room perhaps, or your kitchen or wherever, those were, let me see, were $124 a piece. Yeah, $125 a piece basically. For us, we have an office, but it would have just been like left open. It wouldn't have had a door. So, excuse me, to add a French door there, it is going to be $585. That doesn't seem too bad to us since it is structural. It's not really something that we wanted to deal with later, but you know, that's up to you, whatever's easier for you. For us, anything less than $1,000 is pretty good. And anything structural, you know, we'd rather just have that so that it's less invasive later, once we do actually move in. I may have mentioned in the last video, but tray ceilings were about $1,100 to $1,200 depending on the room size and, you know, how big the ceiling was. Rough-in plumbing for a sink in the laundry room was $500. Now it costs more if you want to actually have them, like, well, in our case, to put in the sink and then cabinetry and all of that, it was going to be a few thousand, but we just opted to do the plumbing. That way we could go ahead and, you know, do cabinetry and all of that on our own later. So do keep that in mind. Plumbing is something that's quite hard to do later, you know, once, you know, foundation's laid and all of that. So if you can do plumbing, rough-in, go ahead and do that. And then you can, you know, expand upon it later, but at least you don't have to worry about piping and electrical, things like that. Let's see here. I know that a lot of you had questions about flooring. So flooring is definitely the most expensive upgrade. Well, not the most expensive, but it does add up quickly, I guess I should say. Typically, most builders, or at least I should say for our builder, there's certain rooms that already come with the vinyl plank flooring, and then some rooms are automatically carpeted. Now, if you want to take the carpet out of those rooms and put the vinyl plank, then it's going to cost you. And that was the case for us. So on our first, on our first floor, we don't have any carpet except for in the guest room. So to add vinyl plank flooring, oh, and by the way, you have to keep in mind square footage. Our house is almost 3,300 square foot. I can't really tell you the square footage per room. I don't have that information right now, but maybe this will give you an idea. So to put the vinyl plank flooring in the dining room, that was almost $1,200. And that's just for, you know, standard vinyl plank, nothing, not like hardwood floors or anything. Which, by the way, hardwood floors for us didn't actually end up costing that much more. We almost considered getting hardwoods, but they're not as durable and they get scratched easier. So for us, it just didn't make sense in this day and age. There's so many hardwood alternatives that unless you're just a purist and you have to have it, then, you know, go ahead. But for most of us, vinyl plank is just fine. And it is more durable. So like I said, to put vinyl plank just in the dining room was nearly $1,200. To put it in the living room, which would have been carpeted otherwise, was a little over $2,000. Now, again, our living room is quite large, so you can see the difference in price there of almost, yeah, $900. But it is significantly bigger. To do like certain hallways in the vinyl plank was anywhere from $200 to $365. So as you can see, it is quite a range. But again, I've heard that it is cheaper to change flooring later on your own if you were to go through a flooring company. But for us, it just wasn't worth the inconvenience, the disruption, and, you know, for us having to wait to move in. And number three, the waste in product, because like the builders have to put something there. So you're putting down new carpet just to rip it out, throw it away, and get new flooring. Like, that was pretty wasteful. And really it just came down to the cost for us. Like, you may save a few $100s, maybe even a couple hundred. I don't know. But when you're already spending this amount of money, a couple $100s just isn't worth the inconvenience. So we're very much convenience people. We're very much, you know, we like to have it done. We like to have it done right. We are not DIYers. So if there was something that we could do or avoid having to deal with later, then we're gonna do it. Okay, so some other upgrades was to get like certain trimming in the house. So if you're familiar with like wainscoting or chair railing, some people call it, crown molding, that sort of thing. Our builder had like a package for that where it was basically in the foyer, in the dining room. It included the tray ceilings as well. So that part gets a little tricky to price. It just depends on how your builder does it. But for us, that option was approximately $2,145. Again, that's just for basically molding, crown molding and trim. And it does look really pretty. I have seen videos on YouTube where you can do that on your own if you're pretty handy, or if you're comfortable, you know, learning how to do that, or even if you have, you know, a contractor or a handyman or someone you can hire to do that, I'm sure it would be quite easy. So again, just it's up to you, your lifestyle, and your budget. Let's see here. I think I may have talked about electrical in the last video, but I'll go ahead and just make a note of it again. So to have the pre-wire for a ceiling fan was about $120. And then, let's see. Yeah, and then there may even be a difference in price if you have that pre-wire, but with a light switch, which I don't know, is a little confusing. I guess they just charge you for the switches, I guess. Not really sure, honestly, but do keep that in mind because these builders can get a little nitpicky with these little things that you wouldn't even think of. But they do charge you unless you go through like Lennar or someone like that where, you know, they have their everything included plans. We didn't look at any Lennar homes, so I'm not really familiar with how that works, but I think with something like that, there's less surprises. And then like for extra outlets and things, you do have to pay for those. Also, something to note that I hadn't really thought about until, you know, we went over this list is water softener. So depending on where you live, you may need a water softener, you may not. We do have them here. Well, I was gonna say in Indiana, but I don't know, at least here in the city, you know, to help with hard water. Builders don't usually include water softeners. Now they'll do the rough-in plumbing for the water softener, but not the water softener itself. So, excuse me, the plumbing for that was $1,100. And then, like I mentioned, you still have to get a water softener on top of that. So keep that in mind because these little things, they add up real quick. Let's see. I know, at least for me, I was the most curious about the kitchen because everyone knows the kitchen is usually where you spend the most money. It's where you want it to look the nicest because, you know, that's what everyone sees. You're hanging out there, you're using it all the time. So I'm looking here at more updates that I could possibly put, or excuse me, upgrades that I can give you for the kitchen, but it really does vary depending on the builder. Let's see here. And it depends on how big your kitchen is. But just as an example, countertop in the kitchen at a level 3, I believe our builder went up to a level 5. So the level 3 countertop was going to be $4,935. That's just for the countertop. So that's usually for something that's quartz. They will include a standard granite usually in the kitchen. Now, sometimes that granite may be pretty, you know, sometimes it's not. Our particular builder's standard was not cute. We didn't like it at all. And again, we didn't want to deal with having it ripped out later and replaced. It just wasn't worth it for us. So we did opt to do the upgrade. I don't remember what level we were at, but I did just want to give you that figure for an idea. Backsplash, let's see here. For our kitchen would have been almost $1,300. Which is not terrible, I don't think, but again, there wasn't any backsplash that we liked. So we're doing that on our own. But from what I understand, it's relatively easy to install backsplash if you're handy or if you trust yourself to do it right. YouTube has tons of DIY videos. Again, we are not DIYers, so we're not gonna be doing all that. But you know, maybe you are and you don't mind it. So $1,200 is $1,200. You know, that's a lot of money. You can spend that on like a nice dining room table or something. So definitely worth considering, you know, if you can do it. Let's see here. The package that they have here to have gas stainless steel appliances like built in. So meaning, you know, the gas burner is built into the countertop, and then the oven and microwave are built into the cabinetry. That package was $2,685. So again, not really the sort of thing that you could do later on your own without pretty much destroying your whole kitchen. So that to me is something that is worth doing up front, you know, having the builder do. But if you're not concerned about gas, then, you know, electrical is cheaper typically. And then, well, and pretty much all appliances I've ever really seen are like built in at this point. Well, I guess you could get like a regular stove oven combination, but a lot of people do prefer it built in. So that's an upgrade I think is worth doing, because it will, you know, whenever you sell your house, that's what people are going to be looking for. And then if you have undermount lighting in your, like under your cabinets in the kitchen, that was about $1,700. So again, quite a bit. I mean, I know that there's different light options that you can even buy like on Amazon and just kind of stick them up there. You could run LED lights if you want to do that. There are options. I'm giving you this information just so you can have maybe a general idea of what this particular upgrade may cost you. But please, please do keep in mind, there's always a cheaper option. You can DIY it. Sometimes it is cheaper to hire a contractor or a subcontractor after. If you know someone who's handy, they can do it. You can pay them. Maybe you have a friend. You know, there's options. So don't feel like you have to go without something or that you have to miss out on it, because 9 times out of 10, I would even say 10 times out of 10, there is an option for you. So I hope this information has been helpful. If there's more you want to know, ask me. I will give you what I can. I think that I pretty much have gone over everything at this point. Let me just do a once over here. Oh, well, I guess I didn't really talk much about tile, like for the showers and like bathtub area. Let me see here. And even cabinetry. Excuse me. Well, okay, so tile, I think actually ended up being more expensive than the vinyl plank, which is kind of funny to me. I guess it makes sense, but I, for some reason, just thought that the vinyl plank would be more expensive. But for example, in our, let's say, bathroom downstairs, to do tile flooring there is $530. Now it's a bathroom. It's not very big. But still they were charging that much. So again, and that was for a group 1 tile or level 1. So it wasn't even a really fancy tile. So a lot of the time the standard for bathrooms is that vinyl plank flooring, which I think looks quite nice, and it's consistent with the rest of the flooring. So that's not something you really have to upgrade. Now tile is pretty easy to install later, I believe, as well. So to me, that's probably an upgrade you could hold off on, or maybe you upgrade the tile in your master bathroom, but not in the secondary bathrooms. You know, make it work for you. But again, hopefully that number sort of gives you an idea. In one of our other bathrooms, that's a bit bigger, the tile for that bathroom was going to be $680. So as you can see, it's a range of $530 to $680. You can meet somewhere in the middle, and maybe that'll give you an idea. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Like I said before, I hope this information has been helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'll get back to you. I'll make another video if I need to. But right now, we're just super excited about our house. They're doing drywall right now. We cannot wait. I will for sure have an empty house tour once that's done. So that won't really be until May, I guess. But thank you for being here today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.